Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Spring Championships round of 16. This is game number 3 in a best of 5 between SomppuKunkku and Kynesie. And yes, apparently he's Finnish, and I'm struggling with the pronunciation of that, but I ought to learn. That is true. Our third match on a vanilla map. As you can see from the mini-map, it is Siberia with the lake. The iconic lake going down the middle. This is a really nice map, actually. It's especially in both Treaty and in Supremacy. Treaty players like it because you can't build anything down the middle. I hope that's why, at least that's why I think they might like it. But for us, as Supremacy players in 1v1, you do start with that guaranteed outpost, and it does mean it lends itself towards more Fortress Age orientated games because it gives you the sort of room to get up there, and that does typically result in longer games, which are certainly my favourite ones. But we do have in the south of the map in the colour blue playing as indeed the Sioux. SomppuKunkku immediately sending out, of course, his Explorer. They're very fast moving, grabbing himself a Tiger. That is a really nice, of course, Treasure Guardian to get. Very strong indeed. Want to make the best use of your Nature Friendship ability on the strongest Guardian. Is picking himself up 50 wood there, and now going to start running around the map, see what he can find. Absolutely. But in the north of the map, in the colour blue, playing as the British, we do indeed have Kynesie. Playing as the British. I think I said that, actually. Picking himself up a 75 food treasure. Not too bad. That blue Explorer is very close. Oh, he could have headed in that direction. He could have perhaps picked himself up that treasure, but doesn't manage to do that. I think the outpost here, well, starting with the market as the British, very nice, and that's going to help him out there. There's a debate to be had on whether you want to market or perhaps more manners, but if you're starting with coin, then the market sort of lends itself towards that. I do think this tower favours British more, since they're going to be defending, especially against the Sioux, which has a very distinctive play style. I'm going to hand it over to you, Veni. What do you think?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, what you commented. If one guy starts with 100 coin, doesn't the other start with 100 coin as well?
That's true.
Yeah, so blue didn't start with 100 coin, so that means that there was a small treasure or something. Maybe I was sleeping as well. Kynesie found 30 coin, yeah, that's why. He just made the market and grabbed a little bit of coin there to do the upgrade, and then he just made a house. So I think that's actually probably the best start in this situation with the craze that you start with.
Yeah, obviously you might prefer to have manor houses over a market, but obviously that's not possible if you're starting with coin, because obviously 300 wood start means that you can indeed get... there's someone fixing the door in my kitchen, so
okay.
Hopefully the banging won't be too loud. But yeah, normally, well, especially in this matchup, like you can't retask the hunting dogs upgrade to another sort of... Another resource, but you can retask a villager from a manor house, and if you're being aggressive, if someone's being aggressive against you, like the Sioux is usually, then you do indeed have to, well, yeah, that can be a thing. But
yeah, but the market works for him, and also the hunting dogs upgrade, it will increase his age up time, so I think it's a good decision. But what is very interesting is that I see Gangsaw being researched at this point in the game, and that is very odd. I mean, either he has some very smart calculation already that he knew that he can sneak it in before aging up.
Yeah, that must be it. Wow, yeah, that's definitely it. Finding himself 75 food and 80 food. Very
80
small
food.
Plays here. Getting the Gangsaw upgrade before his age, because he knows he'll have all the food that he'll want. Going to be going up, of course, on, is it 16, 17 villages, something like that. Knows he'll have all the food for the age up. And with Gangsaw active, it means he can switch to wood and have that active with the 10% upgrade whilst, but he doesn't have to research it now. It's already active and switching to wood now.
Yeah, indeed, I missed the 80 foot, but that was why he was able to sneak it in, and that is actually very nice. Good job there. Every detail matters in a high level game. So the earlier you have Gangsaw, it means that it's already finished. So all these villagers on wood will already benefit from the Gangsaw upgrade right away.
That's true.
And we see that on the right side, SomppuKunkku found that 110 wood treasure, which is very, very nice.
Absolutely huge, and that's he's used that to sort of grab a trading post, no problem. And yeah, go ahead.
It looks like he missed out on the 45 coin that he already killed the Guardians off, but now Kynesie stole that.
The Guardians actually killed the Treasure Guardians, the ones that he converted there, and still loses it, but definitely going to take out his opponent's Explorer there. That's going to be really nice. Deny him that collect 45 XP and deny him the ability to scout. So it's going to be tough to see those incoming Bow Rider raids. Do you want to talk about the distinctive play style that Sioux has here?
Yeah, I think we saw the aged up very fast. Of course, Sioux can be aggressive, but on this map, I think Sioux is just gonna go for a fortress, and you see also he built a trading post.
Do you think so? He's not going to be making Bow Riders?
Yeah, I think
well, in the sense that the colonial sort of pressure.
I think he's gonna make I think he's gonna make some bow riders, but I think that for his Kynesie on this map with the tower, and also, by the way, British can age with the second tower, as he is. Let me see, what is he aging with?
He's going with the Philosopher's Prince for 500 food.
Yeah. Wait, Philosopher Prince is.
Yeah, he's going for 500 food age up.
I always mix these up. Okay.
Yeah, it's the governor gives you 200 coin in the tower.
Yeah.
But building in a giant wall here, I think
Yep.
he's actually anticipating. Wow, he's grabbed the family of 5 monkeys there. Those can obviously they've got very low hand attack, but certainly going to be useful to harass his opponent, and that's what he's going to be doing here. I think obviously axe riders. I think is this a colonial agenda then from the blue player? Sending 4 axe riders, absolutely insane shipment. Of course, 4 cavalry units, each costing 200 resources. Obviously mostly food, so in terms of villager seconds, not quite as good as a hussar, but still 4 cav as a shipment, and you age up with the messenger, super fast at colonial. He's going to come in before even a military building is going to go down, and just harass him is going to be so difficult. These are just so irritating, and you can see here, going to run over to where these villages are being attacked by his explorer, though fortunately you do have a tower on this Siberia, though manages to body block one of them, grabs him a settler kill. Really nicely done there, and that's pretty good for him. This is tough. He's got no military building yet, and how is he going to gather these crates with cavalry running around?
Yeah, it was indeed a very nice micro move there. Now Rex going up, but he won't be able to build it right away because the cavalry is indeed returning already. And also he did miss out on the villager in the front, which is building a manor house. He walked right past that, but he didn't kill the villager. And I'm not sure why he's not seizing this Rex. One more hit and it would be down.
It's well, yeah,
Too
maybe.
much
Either way,
fire.
though, he could just rebuild it even if he had, but certainly something he could have done there.
On the right side again, he's missing villages, by the way. He just walked past 2 more villages with the 2 X-Riders.
Yeah, I was quickly saying. Oh, though he does come back in for a kill on that. Not going to quite get it, though. But, oh, okay. So, these 4 cavalry, he's definitely going for the, as you mentioned, the 700 coin, which has been sent. He's going to go up to the next age with that, and he's going to play some sort of in the fortress age with that, with the timing pressure coming down, which is typical of a fast fortress. But before he sent that, snuck in the 4 cav, and they have done so much work, even if he did miss a couple of ills here and there.
Yeah, I think it's a... nice.
And it goes down. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's a very good move actually. Well, yeah, I think it's a fine move to send these 4 X-Riders first and to rest a little bit, and then he made like 2 or 3 more just to kind of make up for the X-Riders that he lost in doing damage and slowing down the British player from the ones that he lost from a town center and the tower. And meanwhile, indeed, he shipped 700 coin, has the trading post up, so he will be able to age up, and he is already actually hurting to the wrong side on the left here. But he's trying to bring in a second hunt, I see.
Yeah.
He's also gathering quite far on that side as well. I'm not sure what his herding skills are up at the moment.
Well, either way, it's not really like, yeah, that's not so good, the herding there, but certainly not going to matter too much in this particular matchup. British really isn't going to punish you for a long time there. I mean, certainly could add some Cavan. But yeah, a couple of bow riders as well. Just look how much work they're doing. That barracks only just going down since he's managed to destroy it. Idling, even if he... even managing to kill them, even if you don't kill them, this is good. You're just idling them so much. But look at all these manners on the other side of the wall. I find this rather amusing, actually.
It's 2 important things. That first of all, he missed those first villages, and they're now built so many, like 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 manors already. He should have done a better job at scouting, I feel. But also, the reason why this Rex got up so late is because Kynesie delayed his building of the Rex in favor of building a few more houses early on. Usually you have your Rex up a little bit earlier than the first one, actually.
Yeah.
But one other thing, by the way, you're right in that the British is, of course, on the back foot and won't be able to pressure their hunts from the soup layer. But another thing you have to take into account is that every villager has to walk very far to these herds, and that will, of course, delay your income.
That's true.
And, of course, your age-up time, making units, etc.
Of course, if they're closer to your town centre, newly created villagers have to walk less far to get there and less far to get back when they reach. That's true.
It looks like Kynesie shipped 700 coin as well, so he's also going for a job.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like British though. Okay, he's in a good spot now. He's got a pretty good economy of booming done. Yes, he's been idle for a long time, but he's okay now. Got that racks up. 5 musks going to come out, and these things are going to be quite useful for attacking these cavalry. Certainly going to make it very difficult for Blue to actually kill any villagers now. He's in a good spot. Got the 700 wood, 5 villagers out. 700 coin has come down, and he's going to use that to get up to the next age. Is swiftly collecting the resources for that. Unfortunately, this wall did not provide him as much sort of usefulness as he perhaps hoped it would. And it was
another village going down.
Sorry?
Another village going down on the left side. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No problem. Taking out the villager. Good work here. Trying to, despite the musks being down, still doing his best to kill villagers and certainly achieving that. That's exactly what Su needs to do to stay in this. Their economy isn't that good. They only have the one villager shipment, which they usually skip for things like 4 axe riders, 700 coin, and now that he's going up to fortress, he's going to find it very difficult to fit in a villager shipment because of course fortress age military shipments very strong, and that's the point of him going up, just to get the access to these shipments and just really make it tough for the British. Of course, like the Wakina riflemen are going to be very strong against musketeers, and the various units you have that just hard counter colonial units, and of course that's why British, I suppose, is going up as well, or hoping to, because he sent 700 coin to kind of make that happen.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this will play out, because obviously SomppuKunkku is almost in the third age, and it looks like he will just be pushing then with the Wakina rifles that he can ship. We see that the wall is now going to finish on the left side, but actually I'm not sure that matters that much, because Somppu has to pressure, like here, where the herd is, or more via the right side of the base, because all he has to do actually is just make sure that he starves the British, so that the British can't gather and get enough of a mass out.
That's true. These hunts aren't going to last for long, the ones in his base. Does have the berries, but they're not ideal, really. Yeah, that's true. That wall, perhaps not, but then you might as well finish it, because it's still like a useful wall there. But can he take out the villagers before? Oh, no, I still think there's merit in finishing the wall. Like, it's still a wall. It was half done. Might as well finish it. Still a good choice, I think.
Totally agree, yes.
As you point out, yeah, these hunts are the places where really the fighting is going to be happening around. British going to have to push out to secure more of those at some point. And of course, this timing pressure coming down from the Sioux going to be very strong. Very, very good. And he's going to do his best to stop British from taking these.
Can you quickly remind me, the Sioux guy aged up with the chief thing? Does that give you just, 900 root or something? Or what does it bring you?
I don't actually know. I think doesn't it give you a variety of different resources, or is that the Iroquois?
Yeah, that's the Iroquois. I just saw a lot of wood on the ground, but there's not a shipment, it seems. So
no,
he sends 5 rifle riders.
Oh, that would definitely be what it is. The wood came from the upgrade then, if there's not on the shipment tab. But 5 rifle riders, yeah.
That is odd. I would have gone for Wakina rifle, I think, but.
Yeah.
The thing is, well, actually, he can actually push in. This is going to be fun to watch. Look at this army. It's going to die very fast here.
It's going to be very tough. Like, I think Blue's seen it, of course, near the manor houses and the wall. He doesn't want to take that at all. That's really ugly. Blue is a massive army here. Wakina riflemen. Sorry, bow rider. Well, no, the rifle riders, even if Wakinas might have been more cost effective here, still hard counter musketeers with that ×3 damage, calling his Minutemen, and comes out with the 7 longbowmans just on time. This is definitely going to improve his odds in this fight, but still kind of tough.
But in the wrong spot, though.
And it's not looking too good for him. He's definitely going to want to take this, because all 5 pikes coming out, definitely going to be useful, but they're a little bit late. If they came out a bit sooner, just the longbowmen and the Minutemen arrived, that would have, I think, been enough to push the fight in his favour. But as you can see, when you have more units, you exponentially do better in the fight. If the pikemen were here, I think it might have been an even trade.
Yeah, I think actually cost effectively it was still a decent trade. However, the problem is that he wasn't able to clean up the whole army of SomppuKunkku, and that means that he's now going to lose a few more villages again, and of course losing all gathering time. Still though, it is 39 villagers for Kynesie with some additional market upgrades versus just 29 villagers, although with a trading post for SomppuKunkku. So the economy of the British player is still actually completely fine. However, we have to see how he can put his villagers to work, because as you said, soon he will run out of food after this hunt, and then he has to make something else happen.
I don't know, British, like, the Sioux has done such a good job of killing villagers all game long, constantly harassing. Obviously, British with the manor houses, very strong, can get out a lot of villagers, and Sioux has done exactly what he needs to do to sort of stem that and make British not so good. You can see here, Kynesie only 9 villagers up, which is not a huge amount.
Yeah, and he also shipped 3 dog soldiers, and he made a warhead on the left side, very aggressive warhead, and he's probably going to build Wakina rifles from there to spend from there.
Yeah, and of course use it as a shipment point as well.
Yes.
Absolutely. And now coming in, going to take out this wall. It's only going to buy him a little bit of time. That is a very large amount of cavalry.
It seems that Kynesie shipped 9 musketeers and is building a town center in the back. Very typical Kynesie style, I think. Not going. Oh wait, he now shipped 10 longbowmen, but I'm not sure why you use all this wood to make a town center at that position. Actually, I would have probably made it like there or whatever. But he always likes to fortify his base.
Yeah.
Good thing for him, he has enough infantry at this point to just fend off the Sioux guy. And what is very important as well is that he was able to make all these houses here on the edges like this. Because he always has a very
consistent line of sight.
Yes, exactly. He knows when the other guy is coming in, so he has enough time to prepare and move his army around. That's also why he was able to decently deny the raiding early on. But 5 extra riders coming in from SomppuKunkku. I have to assume actually that he has to push in anytime soon. I believe he might be waiting for his 9 Wakina rifles or something, making a few more. Because if he waits too long, I feel it's not a good
That's
good
true.
spot for him.
Despite having done so much damage early on, British is still a strong civilization, and the longer the game goes on, the more it shifts to their favour. So you can't wait too long. Of course, maybe he's oh, that's what he was waiting for. 18 Wakina Riflemen coming out, and with I think it gives you a small upgrade as well.
Yep.
Let's take a look at this.
Exactly.
18 units. You get 16 Wakinas, 2 Warhut Travois, and that's all you get actually. But still, that's what he was waiting for, and I think that was perfectly okay to wait for. Obviously, you can't wait too long, but this is looking pretty good. British outside of his walls. If the cavalry can catch him there and stop him from, surround him, then that's going to look really good. He doesn't want to fight here.
Yeah.
He's going to go back inside his walls.
Well, he can take this no problem, but there we see a nice use of the wall again, using his gate to quickly hide, and he better do so. Now he can see. Oh, sorry, SomppuKunkku has to swing around,
Yeah,
but he is still.
Side of this wall and get involved. It's,
The thing is, if his cavalry switches around, then his Wakina rifles will be out of range. So if Kynesie micros this correctly, then he can just use the musketeers versus the cavalry on the left side around the wall.
Yep.
But SomppuKunkku is gone. Yeah, the problem is the Sioux guy, of course, has no real siege damage at this point.
Yeah.
Of course, they have a lot of units, but they don't have any artillery to take over this wall.
No, and they don't
So
get
actually,
the
what he should do, you see that he has scouted the whole base by now, because of all the raids that he done. He also made a second trading post, or is building actually. He should probably swing a little bit to the right side and just make sure that he's going to camp on that herd to make sure that the British guy is not able to gather any resources. We see also the British guy is going for a mill already,
Yeah.
of course something you don't want to do at this point.
And this is a direct result of not having placed it over here next to the coin mine and the hunt. But to be fair though, if he had built that town centre over here by the coin and the hunt, he'd have to fight over here next to it with his army, which we clearly saw was not able to take what Blue had. He had to get behind his wall, otherwise he would have definitely lost that fight. So maybe he knows he needs a second town centre to keep the economy going, to get back into it, but knows he has to place it in his base here, and he can't secure this. But it looks like he's okay now. He's got an army here. 2 falconets, definitely very strong against all this infantry. Maybe I'm starting to like this town centre placement. Unfortunately, though, it does have to build that mill, but it's looking okay. As I said, this game, the longer it goes on, shifts the British. British has sort of done, despite all that pressure in the early game, he's done a good job of staying alive, has a big economy, and Sioux needs to make something happen.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that Sioux is now being too passive. I feel actually that this army, because the Sioux also has a few rifle riders and dog soldiers as well, I think he can. No, I'm actually pretty sure he can completely take out this army right now.
Do you think so?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
The longer he waits, the worse it's going to be, because the longer he waits, the more cover there will be for the cannons, and the more the British is able. Look, the British is now able to gather from this mine, from this hunt, etc. He should really be going in.
I think, Veni, this is what he's waiting for. He's got 1,000 food in his queue. He's going to use that for the dog soldier timing at the 17-minute mark. And that is going to be absolutely insane. The amount dog soldiers, one of the stronger unit the Sioux has, 770 hit points with a 39 hand attack times 1.5 versus infantry. That is all infantry, including musketeers. And that is essentially all the red has here. Just all infantry, including pikemen, which are certainly good against cav, but not very many. That's probably what he's waiting for. How much? I think it's 1,500 food that costs. And yeah, it's going to be tough when that hits, and I think that is where he has to make it happen. Musketeers, where are they going?
A little of a raid there, looks like.
Certainly, but the timing is almost here, and if they're not with all of the army when the pressure hits, that could be devastating.
Yeah, so
Yep, he's got it in queue. Dog soldiers now coming out. They train very quickly, 45% done. And at the same time, Red has just upgraded his mills. He's spending resources on things that aren't giving him a military advantage. And that's what he needs to survive this incoming pressure. You don't get that many dog soldiers, but they are absolutely insane. Here comes the fight.
This army, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And going to take the fight here on this side. I think that favours him, actually, because in the back here, all of his food and coin is going to be able to gather that unharassed whilst the fighting is happening in his base, where he's
forcing the slow cannons to move.
In the outpost. Here we go, though. The fighting about to start. The problem is, though, it's still going to be kind of awkward for Blue, because he does, unfortunately, there is a bit of a lag issue here. The micro might be kind of awkward for them. We'll have to maybe address that when the game is finished. But here he needs to get a nice surround. Those 2 cannons in the back there looking pretty good. They're going to be able to do a lot of damage here. The walls, though, I don't know. I don't really know what the walls are doing. But here, this is really tough. So many cavalry.
Yeah, the problem is that his Wakina rifles are a little bit clumped up, so they really take a lot of hits from the cannon shots, but this is just too much of an army. He was actually ahead in army count, by the way, the Sioux guy.
Yeah.
And of course, not only being ahead in population, but also having the better units because of the dog soldiers mixed in, he will just completely annihilate this.
Absolute bloodbath. It's just everything's gone, and it just goes to show how strong, like all of these cavalry and the dog soldiers having 770 hit points, just tanking up, sponging all of the damage from the units on the front. And if he wants to deal with the damage in the units with high DPS, such as the Wakina, or even the dog soldiers, they have high DPS. Like there's so much tanking, so much delay. That was I didn't even have words.
I'm very surprised actually that the British guy didn't make any dragoons so far. I mean, it would have really been a nice addition to his army.
Certainly, he's gone up to the Fortress Age, and that is one of the only units that you have access to with the veterancy status without having to upgrade it. It is kind of surprising.
He is though still ahead in villages. He has about 50% more villages, but this is now really the time. Good. Yeah. I'm very curious to see where this will go. This is the time that SomppuKunkku should not be engaging town centers and towers, but just should be going for the economy of the British.
Yeah, British has a really big economy, so these so many villages up, much further ahead of Sioux, very strong position, but those villages mean nothing if you don't have an army to protect them with, and the Sioux's timing pressure coming in, giving him that nice power spike where he needed it to eliminate the blue army, so the red army. And although we do have 4 hussars coming out against the Wakina riflemen, which are countered hard by, of course, these, and they have a time 0.8 multiplier against counts, so they don't fight them very well. They resist range and melee, and they're gonna get.
They go the wrong way. Even look at that. Probably a misclick or something. They went towards the dragoons, but then they went back the other way, and now almost all of them died to the hussars.
Yeah, I don't know. Like now we see blue coming back, not going to harass those villages coming back to defend this Wakinas here, which got absolutely smashed. I think yes, the timing pressure was real. It was really strong. Eliminated what British had, but British is stabilized. I think he's doing okay. Still has all of those villages, and the timing pressure is gone from Sioux. He's just left with his inferior economy, and I think the favor of this match has switched to the British, and it was what a game.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Well, I'll come to that in a second. Let me see how this battle turns out here. It looks like the rifle riders are still doing quite a good job.
Yeah, he still has a lot of shipments coming.
Very costly as a rifle rider, but they do actually very good versus both cavalry and musketeers and infantry.
That's the truth. the most hilarious unit in the game. It's like, yup, I don't know what they were thinking when they made it. They're like, yeah, we'll just make a cavalry that counters everything. Yep.
Yeah, it's so fast as well because it's cavalry indeed. It's just crazy. Meanwhile, the villager count did get reduced to 55, and SomppuKunkku still has 2 trading posts. However, he doesn't have any economic upgrades as much as the British guy has. So
yeah, and blue here is clearly established on mills, but that actually is completely irrelevant comment because the hunting, obviously, Sioux still has map control, has access to all these hunts. So yeah, okay, the economy's not as bad as I was making it out for the Sioux player. Still has 2 trading posts, still has a reasonable amount of villages, certainly did a lot of damage to the British, but my point still stands. British is ahead in villages, and the Sioux economy just drops off. They don't have access to steel traps and the second tier market upgrades, and it's, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that he's walking in line of sight of the house again, because now the British guy already knows that he's coming, he's sending his goons, so he should be walking around and indeed pressure this point where all the hunts are, but typical Kynesie style, he's just walling everything that can be walled here to make sure that he's gathering safely around the map. And again, these X-Riders, I'm not sure what he's doing really. He should be knowing that, of course, Kynesie will respond to that.
Yeah, like you know that he has line of sight with the outposts, as you mentioned there, but maybe it's a lure pulling the Dragoons towards the Wakinas and the Elite Rifle Riders. Not really doing any damage though.
Well, yeah, you mean like he tries to lure them in to do some more damage?
Lure them away and then like sort of gang pile them.
Yeah, that could have been the case indeed. But we see that Kynesie is going actually really for the long game, building a 3rd town center as well, just walling up, defending. Yep. If he can hold out, he can be okay. Especially when he's mixing in longbowmen behind walls, because how is Sioux? This is tough.
How does Sioux deal with them? That's absolutely the truth.
Longbowmen behind walls. It's really tough to deal with.
The only way Sioux can deal with longbowmen is with their axe riders, right? And because they don't have access to cavalry, to artillery. And behind a wall, longbowmen just can't be got at by cavalry. So, wow, that's a really good decision here. He's going to have to go heavy on Wakina, I think, and that just makes him vulnerable.
By the way, do you know if the Sioux guy ages up to the 4th age, can he do a dog soldier thing again?
I don't know, actually. So rarely do I ever see a game go to the industrial age as the Sioux, a civilization that fights, has a play style that forces them to play in the colonial age usually, or indeed the fortress age for this particular game. A civ that does not like aging up very far. They like to play, and they have their advantage in the early portion of the game. So yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, because I think that might be like his only option. However, he's not really close at aging up. So his economy is 50 villagers, which is decent, but it's
Yeah.
not. Well, I was thinking like what he can do is trying to prevent the British guy from resource. Of course, there are still a few mines available. He has covered one semi-covered with his warhead. There is a mine available. However, this mine is already walled, so he won't be able to pressure it a lot. Maybe by the range of the Wakina rifles. But in the meantime, if the British guy keeps booming from 3 town centers, that is, then he is just fine with just going longbowman from the wood that he has around his base, like in the back here, in the back there, and just a few mills as well.
Yeah, longbowmen cost nothing but food and wood, no coin. That's true. But you know, this is looking tough for the Sioux. Certainly, okay, he's not in the worst position. Has a good economy, as we keep saying. Has 2 town centers, or a second one going down. He's going in for the long game. Obviously, slightly disadvantaged because his civilization isn't as good in the long game as his opponent, but still has a very scary army here. And I still think that's, in terms of military, it's definitely bigger. 56. I'm not lagging. I've dropped no frames.
Okay.
I'll do a speed test, why not?
To be honest, both of these players sometimes have a few lag issues. So, but we're all in Europe, so.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing that we haven't covered so far is that fire pit in the bottom right. Did you perhaps notice that it got changed to the war dance during the battle?
I didn't know, but
I'm
that's
actually
definitely
curious.
that thing can swing games.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't really see anything change on the top right. That little icon, but somehow I feel that he forgot it, but I can't be sure about it.
Oh wow! If he'd forgotten that, he's not
Yeah,
gonna be too happy.
don't pin me down to that. But somehow I feel that the battle should have gone a little bit like more into his favor if he had the dance on, but I'm not sure.
Well, we
Anyway.
don't know, but if it hadn't been on and he could have switched it on, then he could have he could have won the fight even harder. And that fight, that pinnacle fight where they had the dog soldiers, if he'd won that even harder, perhaps he'd have even more units and could have killed all the villagers. That was where he was going to win the game, and British managed to survive. I don't know that we don't know if that was the case, but it's definitely an interesting point to bring up. I'm going to bring the results of my speed test on stream. I've got a 10 ms ping, so it should be completely okay. It's not me.
No, like I said, I saw you casting before, should be fine. Like I said, this Kynesie from front sometimes has a few issues, and some for finish as well.
Maybe we drop one of the casters then for the next matches. I don't really want to do that. We'll see what they say once this game finishes. But yeah, I don't know. At this point in the game, though, British now has some of those long-term upgrades active. Refrigeration for the 20% on his mills. He's got the cavalry combat, 15% upgrade to dragoons and hussars. Yeoman upgrade, the long range, the extra range on the longbowman, and of course access to the guard upgrade when he gets to industrial. Really, really nice long game stuff here. And the Sioux has just been sending all game long. Just look at this, like 5. Well, let's just go back. Like five rifle riders, 3 dog soldiers, 5 axe riders, 18 of those Wakinas. Just nothing but military shipments. Nothing for the long game here. And you can see that as a result of everything we've seen and the shipments I just mentioned, this game is looking very, very strong for the British now. Definitely had the option to go ahead and win, but it's been an interesting ride. Put it that way.
Yeah, and we have a problem here for the Sioux guy because he has a very decent number of anti-cavalry, but the problem is that the British guy has almost no cavalry, hand cavalry that is, and he just doesn't have enough hand cavalry himself to deal with this massive longbowman.
Yeah, it's a lot of longbowmen. Not very much hand cavalry, and the problem, rifle riders counter everything, as I said. But not longbowmen. That's one of the few things they actually don't. They're definitely hard countered by longbowmen. Do ×2 damage against them. So just take a look at that. 20 ×2 versus. They're so strong.
Mixing in pikeman now as well, probably because he's a little bit lower on gold. Just adding some food wood.
Make the trash units once you start running out of coin. Absolutely. But this is where he's going to have to take the fight here. Whether or not he can win it, it doesn't matter. He has to take it.
Yeah, he now has sorry, he has just want to say he has the war dance turned on this time, for sure.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what he can do, but
this lag is really shitty.
It is really, really bad. We're definitely gonna have to see if we can fix something afterwards. I don't want people to play in lag like this, and it's about the players. So we obviously want to have optimal conditions for them. But yeah, I think though this is the deciding fight. Blue has to take this, irrespective of whether he thinks he can win it or not, because if he loses this fight, he loses the game, and that's...
Well, this is really shitty. Well, yeah. Well, lag or not, I think this is a fight that Red should win regardless.
Yes.
But
Yes. Yes.
Did you type it as if you were talking to the enemy team?
yes,
Yeah.
just to make sure that he knows that we are here still.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to sort something out. But this fight here, not looking too good for blue. Just look at the longbowman in the back, just chucking out the damage.
Yeah, crazy.
The rate of fire on those things is just so good if you leave them to it. If you tell them to focus something, they have to do the reload animation, not so good. But if you just leave them to it,
Yeah.
just chuck out the damage.
It's often best to not micro your longbowman. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, it's really weird actually. Don't
And
micro your longbowman.
Yeah, and the Wakina do 23 damage only with this fire dance for war dance. So that's only like just 3 more than a longbowman. But they have less HP and cost more. Because gold, actually cost kind of the same. Wood get is a little bit slower.
This is absolutely like ridiculous. I don't even know. It's not. Do you want to? I don't even know what to say. At this point, that the game is over. As a caster, you shouldn't say that because it makes people go away and leave. But I think at this point, the lag is kind of irrelevant. British has won, but still not the point.
Yeah, I wonder how the lag impacted like in the early battles, but then it seemed decently fine. I mean, before the lag,
It seemed fine in the early game. That's true.
a spike here and there, but that's
It wasn't anything to, nothing more than a regular game.
yeah, this is very tough to deal with.
And that is the end of the game there. Kynesie winning his. I think how many do you need for a best of 5?
3 to win.
Oh, definitely. Okay. Yeah, Kynesie goes through to the round of 8, where he will compete in the. Is it the quarterfinals or the semifinals? I never get that right.
Yeah,
I'm
he
so
is.
good at this hype sort of thing. I have no idea what I'm even supposed to say.
The last game, so this was round of 16, so we're going into the quarterfinals, round of 8 next.
Yeah, quarterfinals, round of 8. Kynesie has got his spot there, played it really well, and I think this game goes to show was really far behind in the early portion of the game. Sue did such a good job of raiding. I'm just going to let you describe all of that, like you did in the previous one.
Yeah, well, I think, like you mentioned, the pressure of the Sue guy, the raiding, I think it was a very good choice. There's just one thing, main thing I want to come back to in this game. Yeah, maybe micro here and there could have been improved a little, but that's always easy to say when you're seeing it from a casting point of view, of course.
Yeah, we don't
But the
know
thing
how
is,
bad the lag is either, but go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is, the war dance thing, we have to check it later on. I'm not sure if it was used. Maybe it was, maybe it was not. But if it was used, let's just assume it wasn't for a moment. It would have really changed that battle early on. If it was, then okay, this is how it is. But then I want to come back to that main thing about, you said he was waiting for the dog soldiers. Yes, I'm still not 100% sure about the best decision at that point. But what I do know for sure is that he brought, what is it, 9? How many dog soldiers?
You get 1 for every 3 minutes the game has passed.
Yeah, so it was like 9 times 3 is 27. Like 8 or 6. Well, let's say.
The first 2 minutes of the game counts as 3 minutes for some reason. I don't know why it does that, but
So let's say he has like 6 dog soldiers or something. He
Yeah.
got them. Yeah, okay. Let's just
6 or
assume 6 for a
7,
moment.
yeah.
The thing is that all this time, I can't ping on the map anymore. But if you look at where the British table is, there was a full hunt. There was a gold mine in the back. And the thing is that all this time the British guy was gathering a lot. He was able to spam from 2 Rexes, for sure. He had another shipment, which was, I believe, 9 musketeers or so.
Yeah.
He made a few more pikemen. And let's not forget that even if when the battle commenced, even if it trades out like a little bit in favor of the Sioux guy, again, during the whole battle and during the whole all the army movements, the British guy is gathering a lot of resources in the back. Which means that he will just be able to spam more from that point on. And that's also what we saw. The army count was quite the same, but then the British guy just got ahead more and more because of his economy that he had still going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel, of course, I understand that you want to push out with the dog soldiers, but I felt that 2 main points. First of all, he should have been a little bit more active on the right side, maybe even put a warrior there, I don't know, or just herd it away to prevent the British guy from gathering over there.
Herd it away.
Yeah, well, just send a village or whatever. You mean, you're dealing with some guy who walls, so if you wall, I'm just gonna herd your hunt away. Fuck it. Oh, sorry. But anyway, the thing is that he should push on that point, I feel. And also, if he had done that, the fight would be where the villagers are. Of course, you don't want to have the British guy using all the villages in the fight. But the thing is that the main thing is, I felt that he should have prevented a little bit more of the British economy. That's actually the main point I wanna make here.
Yeah.
Because by waiting for dog soldiers, he gave the British too much time, and I felt that actually backfired.
That's true, and obviously you can still attack and still send dog soldiers, and they can arrive
Exactly
when they do and join the fights as reinforcements.
If he took out the cannons, he would, like I said, at some point when you were, when I said he would be able to take out the army, and you said like, would he? Well, I think he would. If he at that point traded his army away and then come back later with dog soldiers, I think it would have been a much better spot, because also the British player would have to defend the part where he's gathering resources, and now the fight was again near a town center, near a wall, near a tower. And that's not the most favorable position for a Su player.
So you fought around in this location where I'm looking at, and if you'd taken out up here when there were resources in there earlier, that's true. Is that everything, Veni? Or am I happy
I think that kind of sums it up.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude this Kynesie going through to the round of 8 into the semi-finals. But we do have more games coming up. Hopefully, I'll explain more once I get out of this game. But I'm going to end my recording here. Stay tuned.